Let's talk about the Scarborough subway. If you haven't heard, the city is planning to build a 6-kilometer, one-stop extension of the Bloor Danforth line. It's going to run from Kennedy Station to one new stop at the Scarborough Town Centre. They're going to tear down the Scarborough RT. It's old, it's reaching the end of its life, and it'll be replaced with this one subway stop. That one-stop plan is currently estimated to cost $3.35 billion. That number is expected to keep increasing. The subway is currently the most expensive infrastructure project on the books in Canada's largest city. But there have been a lot of problems with the process that led to council deciding to move ahead with this subway plan. Now, City Councillor Josh Matlow has asked for a judicial inquiry into those problems, which he's outlined in his request to council. He's calling it dysfunctional transit planning and says it needs a closer look. So how did we get here? Former Mayor David Miller wanted to build a thing that was called Transit City. It was a network of LRT lines across the city. Then Rob Ford was elected in 2010. He immediately declared that Transit City was dead. He wanted to build subways, subways, subways. And that meant in Scarborough too.
They want subways, folks. They want subways, subways, subways.
But in spite of Ford, council moved forward with an agreement for the province to build 4 LRT lines that were part of the original Transit City plan. That included a 7-stop LRT to replace the SRT. It would have been fully funded by the province. But as an election approached, those seeking to keep their seats, win new ridings, or be elected as mayor pushed for a subway to be built as a vote-getting strategy in Scarborough. Council rules were broken to reopen the decision to build an LRT. The subway was based on zero design work, was lacking in justification, but council approved it anyways.
The Scarborough subway will bring jobs, growth, and prosperity to Scarborough and Toronto.
Council also approved a special tax to pay for the subway. It will be collected from all Toronto homeowners for the next 30 years. Then John Tory got elected in 2014, vowing to build the 3-stop subway. That plan remained controversial, and the plan started shifting. Senior staff told council that Scarborough could actually get more transit with the same amount of money if the number of stops were reduced to just 1. Former Chief Planner Jennifer Keesmaat said the savings could be used to fund a different LRT that would run from Kennedy Station to the University of Toronto's Scarborough campus. But the cost for that subway kept going up, the LRT was priced out, and once again the plan for Scarborough hinged on a single subway stop. Matlow and other councillors pushed for a return to the LRT plan. But Tory, who had promised a subway, and his allies continued to push to see the subway plan move forward. Ahead of a council vote in July 2016, council was told a lot about how the subway had progressed. They were also told that the LRT may no longer be feasible. They were told that that LRT plan had actually inflated in cost to be almost as much as the subway. Senior staff cast doubt on the LRT plan. They said that the cost had inflated to be almost as much as the subway, and that delays in construction would push the project back years and delay Scarborough Transit being built.
And this has been work of 2 years, so it'd be fair to say that would basically be delaying all this process for at the minimum another 2 years?
Through the mayor, 3 years. That's correct.
Oh, sorry, 3 years. Okay, thank you.
A misleading briefing note was circulated to only Mayor John Tory's office and TTC Chair Josh Cole's office. It put those claims in writing, and it was used to influence other councillors. At the council meeting in July, senior city staff claimed that the subway and the LRT were at similar stages in design.
And we were told recently for the, call it 2008, 9, 10 LRT, that that's at about 5% design, or it was at that time. Is that a fair number?
So, Madam Speaker, we've had some discussions as a follow-up. Some elements are at 5 and some are at 10%.
Okay.
That was the information we got from Metrolinx the other day.
And where would the subway be at design percentage of design completion? Around 5, I think I've heard.
We're currently at about 5%, yes.
But I have documents that show the subway plan was not that far along. It was based on rushed design work from consultants and several hand-drawn sketches. And the LRT was actually years ahead in the process. Public reports peg it at 30% design. The city's Auditor General also found the TTC's claim about the inflated cost of the LRT was off by at least $570 million. Council was told the subway would be complete in late 2025. But a footnote buried in the staff report said that schedule was based on Council approving the route for the subway at that July meeting. But staff hadn't even recommended a route, so Council couldn't pick one, and that schedule was impossible. Council has never actually seen a value for money comparison of the subway to the LRT. Councillor Matlow has tried repeatedly to request one. Tory and a majority of councillors have voted his motions down every time. I got my hands on a draft 2013 report authored by Metrolink staffers. It says that the subway is not a worthwhile use of money compared to the LRT. This report was never published. Matlow now has a motion. This is what it concludes. Taken together, the evidence suggests that critical information presented to Council by staff regarding the Scarborough subway extension and the Scarborough LRT in staff reports, briefing notes, and on the floor of Council was at times inaccurate, misleading, or incomplete. Mayor John Tory has said the debates that have already been had and the reports that have already been tabled are sufficient. He says that he is satisfied that Council should move ahead with this plan, and he says that you should also be confident that this is the right plan for the city. For the Toronto Star, I'm Jennifer Pagliaro.